development that Robert Mueller expressed basically immediate disagreement with the way William Barr characterized his report.
Well, this is not a complex legal issue. It's actually common sense. If a law student engaged in this kind of dishonesty, they would be kicked out for academic fraud. If a lawyer engaged in this kind of dishonesty, they would be disbarred. Bill Barr needs to resign, and he needs to resign tomorrow. But I think he knew that he was going to have to resign, and he said it was worth the cost of obfuscating and giving the president breathing room, and he intentionally took that hit to put a false narrative out there.
Presidential candidate Julian Castro has also called for Barr's resignation. Congressman Krishnamurthy, your reaction to this breaking news tonight?
Well, I think that
reviewing, I asked if you thought about having them help prepare the March 24th letter. I mean, they did the report after all.
No, I didn't think about it.
Why not?
Because it was my letter.
Congressman Khanna, when you watch these answers take on new meaning.
Well, and he's trying to be so slippery and trying to obfuscate, but it's not going to work. I mean, the American people have common sense. They know that he went before the Senate and he lied. I mean, he said that Bob Mueller didn't give him any indication of disagreement. That is just untrue. And at some point, we have to distinguish fact from spin, truth from untruth. And this is as obvious a case as you can get.
Political pressure, because it was in fact political pressure that forced a lot of the cooperation from the Nixon administration. It also forced certain forms of cooperation out of Bill Clinton when he was being investigated. Political pressure has always been a factor in every other administration during any investigation of them. It doesn't seem to be a factor here. They don't seem to care at all about the political pressures.
Well, you're right. I mean, Sam Erwin, who was chairing the Senate Select Committee, famously threatened to send the sergeant at arms to get some of Nixon's White House aides. And that shamed them enough that the White House aides complied. But here you're talking about an administration that has no shame. I mean, if people view being held in contempt as a badge of honor as opposed to a career-ending embarrassment, then what do? My view is similar to Representative Krishnamurthy. There is only one person who this country will trust, and that's Bob Mueller. We need to bring him in front of Congress, let him tell the facts on live television, and I think that's the only thing that's going to resolve this.
And Mueller's complaint, the calls for resignation increase as you sit here. I mean, you led off with one, but there's going to be more before this hour's out, I'm sure.
Well, the irony is, of all the obstruction, Bill Barr may have committed the gravest offense in obstructing justice. And it's important to realize Bob Mueller is not Ken Starr. I mean, he was so careful. He made a conclusion not to go after Trump on the collusion issue. He has been bending over backwards to not go after the president. And that's why I think he has so much credibility. Frankly, more credibility than people who are Democrats or Republicans than we have on the committee. The American people have a sense of judgment, and they're going to look at this person as nonpartisan, as having done his duty, as putting country above party. And I think he's the only person really who can help us heal when he comes in front of Congress.
David, anything conclusive, anything like an impeachment procedure?
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, their hope is that Trump becomes the Republican nominee, and then they'll say, oh, how unfair. You can't disqualify the Republican Party's nominee. And they just need to push this out till January, till the Iowa caucuses. That's why the thing they're petrified of is someone coming before live television. The president understands that. He didn't care if Don McGahn was talking to Mueller in a confidential 448-page report. But the president understands television, and what he is scared of is if Mueller or McGahn or these folks come and testify on live TV. I mean, you saw the impact of the Kavanaugh hearing, where the president actually first thought that Christine Blasey Ford had won the day. And I think that's the only thing that can change public opinion.
Neil Katyal is there.